Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Julie. Hello, hi. How are you? So today is actually the 29th of January, but I know that I will not be able to read any other book before the end of January, so I decided to film my little January wrap-up. So this time it will be on time, because I'm always late for these. I'm being responsible here, guys. Here are all the books that I've read, and there are also a few EPUBs that I don't have physically, but we're gonna talk about that. So if I didn't even tell you, this is my January wrap-up. Welcome, guys. This month I read 11 books, which is really good. Quite nice. So if you're interested in knowing what these 11 books are, then just keep on watching. So the first book that I've read this month was actually the Candlelight Book Club pick of the month. I will leave the link of the book club down below in the description box. It is actually quite a really good book club with a bit of fantasy, young adult and romance, which I think is like pretty well balanced. So if you're interested in joining this book club, I will leave the link and you can just join the club. But the book of this month was Cinder by Marissa and Meyer. So this is a actually young adult sci-fi dystopian thing. I don't really know how to explain this, but I feel like it's sci-fi, dystopian and fantasy all mixed together, and it feels really well done. Like, I was kind of skeptical at first because I don't read sci-fi at all, and I'm not really interested in this, even though I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. But I like watching sci-fi, but I don't like reading it. I don't know why. I feel like it's not the same. So I was kind of skeptical for this one, but it's actually a really quick reading. And this book is actually like a retelling of Cinderella. So it follows Cinder, who is a kind of robot. Basically, it's in this world where if you have an accident or something like that, you kind of have like a surgery, and it's kind of blurry. It is for me as well, guys. And so Cinder had a few surgeries because she had been in an accident when she was younger, and so now she kind of is a pariah. Is that how you say this? People don't really like robot people, and so you follow her, and obviously it's a Cinderella retelling. So there's like her stepmother, who's the worst person ever, and her step sisters. There is one who's nice, but yeah. And so in this society there is currently, when you're reading the book, there is a sickness happening, and this sickness is incurable. Like, they don't have the cure yet and they're looking for it, and Cinder, she will seek it even more because her stepsister, the one she likes, is actually sick and she wants to save her, and to do so she will actually have to ally with the prince of this world. Did you actually understand this? I hope you did. So there is a teeny tiny romance. It is young adult though, so be aware. But I actually really enjoyed this one and I gave it 4 stars. Actually, reading this reminded me of the Treasure Planet, I think it is. Treasure Planet. Do you know the old Disney movie? Like, I loved it so much, and this reminded me of this, so it was actually quite nice to read this. Also, I really liked the story and how smooth it was. Like, the reading was really quick, really smooth. I really liked it. Loved the romance, little tension moments here and there. That was really nice. The only thing that I didn't really like is the ending of this book. It kind of feels like the second book is going to be book 1 all over again. This is why I gave it 4 stars. Otherwise, I think it would have been a 5 stars reading because it was actually really, really good. Next was The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. This is in the Cruel Prince Hellfame universe. This follows Orc, who is Jude's brother. And now he's like 17, I think, or something like that. But he's trying to save his father, and to do so he needs the help of Ren, who was his bride-to-be, I guess, back in the days when they were young. But now they have to ally, and it is an enemies to lovers with a lot of tension. yeah, I really like this. I give it 4 stars. So it was actually really good, fast reading as well. I think though the first like 20% of the book is kind of long, but then when it starts you really are into it and it's just really good. Love Ollie Black's writing. I love this universe. It is a bit similar, like the relationship between Eric and Ren is a bit similar to Jude and Carden, even though it's not like the same, but it's quite similar. So if you loved Jude and Carden's relationship, you might love their relationship as well. So then I had the chance to read the arc of City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaeffer. I don't know. I talked about it in my vlog, not the last vlog, but the other one. I was reading this book and I actually loved it so much. I think it says on Goodreads like Gotham meets Strange the Dreamer, you know, thrilling young adult, blah blah blah. Which I haven't read Strange the Dreamer, might need to, but Gotham definitely. So in this world, nightmares become reality. So if you fall asleep and you have a nightmare, you might wake up as your nightmare. So basically you can wake up as a spider if your worst nightmare is a spider, or like as moth, as anything, vampires, werewolves, anything, like really anything. So it is a dangerous world and you're not really safe at night, or even like during the day actually, but it's not a really safe word. And in this world you follow Ness, who is such a coward. Like, she is the Maniscalco ever. Like, it's so funny. She is terrified by nightmares and by falling asleep and dreaming, because if you dream, it's a danger. And she works at this thing where they help people who had an encounter with a nightmare, and so they give like therapy and all. The director of this thing she works for, he tells her like, it's over, you need to go to this other city because you're not useful at all. And she does not want that because she loves her habits, she loves her little comfort, so she's really scared of moving out. So she decides to go on this mission for this thing, and she goes into this boat to go to another city. And in this boat she meets Sai, I think it's Sai, and she soon realizes that he's a vampire. The boat explodes and she is taken into this mission of trying to know what happened, who did that, why they did that, and she also soon realizes that someone is trying to kill her. And yeah, so she allies with Sai, a nightmare vampire who she is absolutely terrified of, and they just embark on this mission that is very funny. I have laughed so bad on this book. I just really love the fact that it's like a very serious plot, like she's getting almost killed all the time. She's super scared of nightmares. There is like, it's like so chaotic. This city is so chaotic and so dark. It kind of also feels like The Boys in some ways, if you have seen this TV show. I really love this one. I give it 4 stars. I think I kind of missed the romance. Like, it wasn't, there is a little something, but it's just really not that. Next is A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. So this follows Ren, and she's like this young innocent girl in this prep school, and she's the only one who is still a virgin. She has never kissed a boy, she has never done anything with a boy. She's quite scared of them, actually, kind of, and she is this judgmental person who always looks at girls who had sex with a guy, and she's kind of like, you shouldn't have done that and all. So she's kind of this bitchy girl. Kind of feels like a Virgin Suicides. It just reminded me of that. And there is this guy, Crew, and he's obsessed with Ren, like obsessed, and he wants to be her first time, and so he tries to introduce her, and obviously she kind of falls for him. It's basically like Ren discovering her body, discovering all these things of life, and yeah, and then it's a romance. I really don't know what to say about this book. Like, I give it 3.5 stars. I liked it, but I was really disappointed because I've heard so many good things about this, and I do get it. but then also I feel like it was kind of missing something. Like when I was reading it, I was enjoying it, but when I was not reading it, I wasn't craving it. I didn't want to read it. I was just like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna read it. And then when I was reading it, it was like fine, but I wasn't obsessed with this book. I wasn't obsessed with these characters. I didn't really relate to them. I don't know, I feel like I just don't know, like it wasn't it for me. Then I read Lords of Pain by Lawson, and I think there's like another author, but anyways, this is the first book in the Royals of Forsyth University series. This is a dark romance, guys. Like, this is a really dark romance. Don't read it if you're not into this, because you're gonna be traumatized. It is a white shoes romance with a stepbrother and like two of his best friends, and basically this girl, when she was younger, I think she was actually kind of obsessed with her stepbrother, and her stepbrother was kind of obsessed with her, but nothing happened. I mean, nothing happened. Nothing that she knows. This is terrible. And then something happened that you don't know at first, so I'm not gonna spoil. Something happened that made her run away from the house, and the stepbrother, he absolutely hated her for that. Like, he wanted her to suffer for this because he was not okay with that. And years after that, the stepbrother and his best friends are the lords of this school. So basically they are like lords, dukes, barons, princes. Like, it's just this weird sorority thing. And every single year, I think, they choose a girl for their group, and this girl has to do anything for them, like everything. The girl who ran away, she is now running away from someone again, and she thinks that the best way for her to be safe is to be with the lords, with her stepbrother. So she goes into the lord's house, and she is chosen as the new lady. And this is the story, basically. One thing, she's a virgin, and yeah, it's important in the story. This is really dark, guys. Really, really dark. I'm saying that knowing that I'm used to dark romance and that I don't really mind a lot of things, but when I started this, I was like, whoa, that is quite heavy. Like, really? There are touchy subjects in here. Like, I wasn't super into this. I give it 3 stars. There were some things that were too much for me, but then I was kind of like liking the stepbrother, even though he's the worst of them all. Like, he is the worst, but I kind of liked him. But yeah, this is why I give it 3 stars. Like, it's testing my morals. Like, I was really like, this is so bad. Like, really, what's happening is terrible. But then I was like, I still don't really know how to explain this, but definitely be aware that it's like a super dark romance. I read Escaping from Houdini, which is the 3rd book in the Stalk and Jack the Ripper series by Kerri Maniscalco, and so this follows Audrey Rose and Thomas in a boat where there is like a carnival happening, and they're all murders, and so they're trying to solve the murders. I like this, though there is like something that there's a trope in this that I don't really like, and it happens for the last like 30% of the book, and I was kind of, I don't know, like, I wasn't super enjoying this book, but I wasn't hating this book. It was still nice. I don't think it's the best from the series. I give it 3.5 stars. I wasn't into the solving thing. When the murder was announced, I wasn't blown away. I was just like, okay, why not? I just wasn't invested in this book, honestly, and yeah, I think it's just the same as everyone reading this book. It wasn't the best. Next, guys, first 5 stars of the year. This is Final Offer by Lauren Asher, which is the last book in the Dreamland Billionaires series. First book being The Fine Print, and second, Terms and Conditions. This follows Callahan, the last brother, as he tries to get his inheritance by going to his childhood lake house, in which he spent all of his holidays, in which happened quite a few things and a few things that he's trying to forget. But when he goes back into this lake house, well, his past is still quite present. So yeah, it's a childhood best friends, two lovers to strangers, two lovers kind of book. It is second chance. Guys, it's a masterpiece. Like, really, the banter in this, like, I was reading this, I was feeling so giddy. Like, I was just like, it was so good. I was so into it. I loved the plot. I just loved the romance, loved the characters. There is a child in here, and now I think that whenever there is a child in a book, I'm going to read it because it adds something. It adds something amazing, guys. I cannot recommend you this book enough. If you have one book to read from this series, it is this one. It's the best. It's so good. The guy is blonde so that's probably why I loved it so much. It talks about alcoholism, so also be aware it kind of is touchy. Yeah, I've read quite a few romance books, but in all honesty, this one truly spoke to me. I feel like sometimes a good romance must start with loving yourself, and this book is all about self-love and self-acceptance. It's the real side of love, how toxic and bad it can be, how beautiful and perfectly perfect it also can be. I'm in love with everything this book is about. I don't even know what to say. I dare you not to cry on this book. Oh, I just love this book so much. I think it has become one of my favorite romance. I read Love on the Brain by Hazelwood. So this follows, gosh, I just don't even remember this book. It follows B and Levi, and B, she is hired to go on this mission. She goes to this place to work for NASA on a project with her enemy, Levi Wood, with whom she was at school and who sure acted like he hated her, and so she hated him back. And she goes there and they work together, and like it's enemies to lovers. Yeah, I just really liked this one, honestly. I gave it 3 stars, I think. 3.5 stars. I think it's more like 3 stars. It was quite similar to the Love Hypothesis in like the relationship, even though it wasn't fake dating, but still it was quite similar. I just didn't really connect with the characters. Like, I didn't really like B. She was so awkward and it was too much. Levi, I liked him, but I always loved Hazelwood's man. Yeah, it's just, it didn't really blow my mind away once again. Then I have like 3 last books that I will not talk about in this video because I have an entire video dedicated to these 3 books. So it will be up on my channel really soon after this video is up, so stay tuned for that. These are 3 romance books. I'm just like teasing you a little bit, and you will know everything that I thought about them in the next video if you want to. These are some really excited readings. So that concludes my January wrap up. Hope that you liked this little video. What did you read in January? No, what was your favorite reading from January, and what was your worst reading from January? Hope that you liked this. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. And I will see you guys very soon in another one. And until then, take care. Bye, lovelies!